The mind.
Complex and intriguing.
Composed of two sides.
The left.
And the right.
Join us to see how they cooperate.
And how they clash.
I'm Jacob Ramirez, and today I, along with Nicholas, consider the complexities of free will and what it means to be an agent in this awfully complex universe.
And my name is Nicholas Moroney, and everything but hate is doomed. And I'd like to welcome you to Left Brain, Right Brain.
Is everything okay? Everything
Yeah, everything's good.
just in deep contemplation.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking, do you think there's like a biggest thing?
Like a biggest thing.
Like a biggest thing?
Like, do you want me to state the obvious answer?
The universe.
Like, yeah.
But like,
But it's not big.
it's
Is that what you're
definitely
saying?
big, but I mean, like, is it a thing anymore?
Yeah,
Because if it's
that's what I'm trying to say.
everything, is everything a thing?
Like the sets of everything.
Because then that implies there's sub things, which of course there's sub things. Those sub things would then be galaxies. Those sub things would then be like solar systems, and then
Yeah. But could I say a thing is
on Earth, what's the biggest thing? This isn't my topic, by the way. This
On
is
Earth.
just me actually
No.
being curious.
No, just on Earth.
Yeah, what's
Well,
the biggest thing?
But the biggest thing besides Earth would be
Yeah.
Earth minus like one atom. You know what I mean? Let's see how it becomes arbitrary.
Welcome back, everyone, to Left Brain, Right Brain. Hi there.
Yeah.
I redid my room. This studio, I redid it.
Yeah.
You're not really going to see it much in this podcast,
No.
but I've redone it.
It is. It's really nice.
I appreciate it.
For those who obviously can't see, even if you're listening,
Or if you're blind.
or if you're blind, I mean, I love the curtains in front of the shelves.
Yeah, I've
Very
got
nice.
curtains.
It just makes things nice.
Yeah, I feel like this is the only one I'm still yet to decorate, but I've got to work out how I can do that.
Yeah, how are we gonna get that photo of
Us
you
on
on
the
the horse?
Yeah.
And me as a peasant, of course, begging
Yes,
to you.
of course. I've started to actually have a change of heart, however.
Really?
Yeah.
Already.
I think I'd rather the Last Supper, but me as Jesus, and
You as Jesus.
you're all the 12 disciples.
I'm all 12. I actually consider it an honor to be all 12.
Yeah, all 12. But you're also like you're both Judas
I'd still box.
and Peter.
Both Jews and Peter.
Peter's a bit like
He's your average apostle.
he's pretty like he's
He's
just
like your standard apostle.
Do you actually know what you're saying right now?
I'm not sure. No.
No. Peter's the guy who's like
What did Peter do? Because I have no idea.
Peter's the guy who's like will say the dumb thing out of the apostles. Like Jesus will be like he'll feed 5,000 people with bread, right? And then he'll be like, I've given you bread of the flesh now, but soon I give bread of the spirit.
Yeah.
And Peter will be like, what type of bakery makes that? And Jesus is like, I'm not talking about bread, man. Like that's the type of thing Peter's like.
Right. Pete's a bit thick, is what you're saying.
Yeah. But
That's okay,
he's
but that's
lovable.
okay.
Like I think it's Peter who says something to Jesus like to say no to him, and Jesus responds, "Get behind me, Satan." Saying that it was Satan within Peter speaking.
Wow.
To it, yeah. It's one of those things.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's quite
Peter's like us. In all honesty, we're
Right.
Peter.
like Peter's the like specifically you and I. Peter's the everyman.
Peter would have TikTok.
Peter, okay, I know. I understand what kind of perspective you're going.
Peter Skibbity Rizzes Ohio Gyat. In a month, those words mean nothing.
I think by the time you
By the time I've like turned off this recording,
those words. I hope so. One can only hope and dream of so much.
one can only hope of a society without Ohio.
So it's that makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Oh,
See how meaningless you sound.
yeah.
God.
We're reaching a demographic of just like our immediate circle.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's good.
So you want the Last Supper?
The Last Supper.
As
Also, it has to be a fresco. It can't just be like a hung up. It has to be a fresco.
Right. Okay. Why?
Because what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point if someone can just like walk into the room and go, "Oh, nice painting"? No, they have to go, "Oh."
Oh,
They have to actually have to be moved by it.
it has to be really move. Yeah, they have to feel the profundity of that piece of art.
Like they have to take a break to rest their eyes because they're like, oh.
They feel their soul like just kind of
You got this.
retreating in spite of the glory on the wall.
Oh, of course.
Oh well. How have you been?
I'm splendid. I got a bit of a headache.
You got a bit of a headache.
I did have some Panadol though, so I should be alright.
Well, okay. Hopefully Panadol. Hopefully. fix everything.
Might be a caffeine headache. I haven't had enough chai today.
You have had actually too much chai potentially.
How much chai have I had today?
I think you've had 3 already.
Yeah, I usually have 5.
Yeah. Well, you were at like 3. It's 4 p.m. almost.
I woke up at 10.
You did wake up. You've been awake 6 hours. Less than 6 hours.
That's pretty good. Like if I woke up at 8 o'clock, it would be 2 p.m. Of course, that was the dumb thing 'cause I woke up at 10, so it was just -2. Yeah.
4 minus 2.
Look. Maths is your side of the couch, okay?
Okay, hopefully you can at least add and subtract. And in fact,
You don't need to add and subtract for creativity and art and all that emotional goodness. I'm not just...
how many canvases do you need? 1, and 1. Whatever that is, sir. Whatever that works out to be.
Another one?
I am
Another one. Yeah. How many canvases do you need? As many as I feel.
As many as I feel.
I want to feel happy.
The vibe tells me.
The vibe. No. Hell yeah. How are you?
I'm fantastic actually. No, I'm headache free. So
Your headache free?
yeah, that's not a flex or anything.
Hey, how post school? How are you feeling post school?
It's crazy because it was free time.
Yeah.
So much free time. We can do stuff like this.
This is peak life.
This is peak life.
This is peak life.
It goes all downhill from here. So I hear.
When we start paying taxes and we have a family
That is true.
to care about things.
No optimism. Let's be optimistic. Let's look to the future with hope, because we're at a point now where we kind of can choose for the first time in our lives where we
100%.
go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've been at school and we don't really make the choice to go to school every day. Like you could choose not to, but
I heard a story. I don't know if this is true, but this is how I felt about school. This story is of Ford, I believe.
Ford.
Yeah.
Henry Ford.
Yeah. I believe. Grain of salt. But I remember, I believe it was like someone who was funding him, one of his producers was like, you can make your car any color as long as you make it black.
Right. Hang on. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I felt with school. They were like, you can be anything you want as long as it's what we want you to be.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, you can't change schools just because you feel like.
Well, you can't change
one
it
day.
because
You go to school and it's the same school.
you either go to a school that is like very narcissistic and up themselves, and all they want to do is be successful, or a school that doesn't give a shit. And unequivocally, like the doesn't give a shit's worse. So you have to go for the school that loves themselves way too much. Like,
I guess so. Well, sometimes you can't.
well, there's always exceptions to every rule.
Most people can't access that education
Oh,
because it costs money.
I agree.
And that's not something to agree with. That's a fact.
Well, yes. Is it almost a good thing then to have a chance of educating yourself in a more freeing way? You know, like maybe your education's lower tier, lower quality to some degree, but at least you get to be, free. At least you get to be you as a human being. Embrace
But what's
who you
freedom
are.
if you're not educated?
What's free? Well, that's just like saying what's freedom if you are educated. Like
Freedom if you are educated means you can actually make
I
things.
think there's a point where
I think you can start
know-
changing your world in more profound ways if you.
I
have
don't think
freedom.
a single duck is nihilist. I don't think a single duck's also been educated. I think every duck alive is like quack. But I think they're all happy
Every
ducks.
duck alive. Yeah, that's very true.
I think every duck alive is like pretty happy. They're chilling, right?
Maybe. Yeah. Let's say for the.
I think.
Yeah. Sure.
I think, or a rabbit. I think.
A rabbit. Yeah,
other
you
than
got
when
a
you're
rabbit.
running
You got
away
a
from-
rabbit.
Yeah, rabbits
have a
pretty
rabbit.
chill. Like my rabbit lives the life.
Yeah, he craps in the litter box and then goes and eats some lettuce and then hops around
Then sleeps.
and then
That's
sleeps.
the life. I don't think he's been educated.
Well, of course not. So I don't think it's a very profound existence for a human to have. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to live the life of a rabbit if I had the consciousness of a human being, would I? Do nothing all day, ever, except your bodily functions. No threat, no challenge.
I think it sounds pretty chill, actually.
Ignorance might be bliss, I guess.
Yeah.
That might be the thing.
Well, I mean, who knows? Like, I think I heard this story that someone pitched of like a futuristic society where you'd own an AI to do work for you, and your AI does everything for you, cooks for you, cleans for you, does everything for you, to the point where humans rely on the AI more than they rely on themselves. And then what happens is people start going, okay, you can send your AI to work, but it means you don't have your AI at home anymore. So it's like you either have it for you or you have it to work. If it works, get your money. So then they're
Yes.
like, okay, now humanity still like exists, in a way that is functioning, but no one's doing anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds interesting to me.
Sounds interesting. Would
Well-
you want to live there?
Not that I want to live there. It's just like, that's a fascinating concept to think about. That's a
Yeah.
film.
That's potential film.
That's a
there.
film. It's always potential. There's always potential.
There's always potential everywhere.
I agree.
Can be inspired by anything. Truly.
Truly.
Truly. So let's circle back around.
Let's circle back around.
Well, actually, do you want to go to a topic of your own choosing?
A topic of my choosing.
Let's swap.
Wait,
Let's
let's
swap it
see-
around from last time.
Oh, I was going to do Scissors, Paper, Rock. All right, fair enough.
Oh no! If you want to do this, Fizz Rock.
Let's do it.
All right. Whoever wins, the topic shall be theirs.
100%.
Oh,
We did the exact
Uh,
same thing as last time.
I wasn't ready to go.
Oh,
Okay.
scissors, paper. Alright.
Right.
Scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock. Oh, hell
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which topic
Fair
do I even
and
choose? I got
square.
some, a few topics actually, but I'll
Some
pick,
wacky
I'll
ones.
pick one because I want to save them.
All right. Go right brain topic right now.
Are we doomed? Are we doomed? Is it all over? Are we doomed? Are we doomed, Jacob Ramirez? Are we doomed? That's my topic. I want to
Are we
ask,
doomed?
what is doomed? Is there anything that is, do you think that there will be some things that are just poof to the wind, disappear? Do you think there are some things that are going to survive time, is not going to doom? What is doomed? What is not?
What is doomed? What is doomed?
You're fascinated by the word doomed.
No, I'm really contemplating that word doomed.
Well, I think something that is bound to be eradicated, something that is bound to not stand the test of time.
That's
could
a
be on the-
very thought-provoking question.
Well, I
actually.
think it's like because there's a lot of things on the small scale that won't last. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things on the big scale that won't last.
That skibby
Like-
toilet, hopefully, those.
like-
I'm sure that does not last.
No, but I'm like
I know what you mean,
like
by the way.
countries.
Yeah.
Countries like they.
Yeah, that's true.
You look at a world map from 20.
Hey,
years
those
ago,
dictators didn't last.
and
Did
it's
they?
different. Like it's fascinating how like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years can change an entire like world
Yeah.
map,
Yeah.
and
that's
you just
true.
think, wow,
Wow.
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 So yeah, I'm interested to hear your
What's gonna
thoughts.
last forever? Maybe could be the question.
What'll last forever?
What will last? Because I think you would admit this yourself. Most things will be destroyed. Most things will be
Everything
changed.
of which will return to stardust.
That's bloody boring. Also, I hate the word stardust. It just means a gas. That's all that means. It just means really, very, very low pressure, hyper diffuse particles. That's all that means.
Actually, it only means hyper diffuse particles.
Oh, wonderful.
It's actually just gas.
Shut up!
Fuck you.
Look. Okay.
What will last forever is what you're saying. What
What
will
will
last
last forever?
until
What-
the end of humanity?
Well, ironically, I said what is doomed, but sure, what'll last
No, but
forever?
like it's the inversion of the question. I think it's
Yes.
you answer one, you answer the other.
Yes.
Hatred will last forever.
Ooh! Yes, I actually agree. I
Yeah.
think fighting will last forever.
And I think it will outlast.
Conflict.
And I don't think it will outlast love.
Ooh! So that you
Because
think there's gonna be a so the
because think
hate
about-
death of the universe and hate death of the world.
hate death of the yes, correct,
Hate
correct.
death of the world.
Well,
Well-
because think about it. If love persevered,
Mhm.
that is, if compassion and if the optimistic and empathic part of the soul of humanity was the one that endured history, then we would not have conflict. We would not necessarily have violent terror. We would not have disaster. We would live harmoniously. We would last. But as soon, if that were to die, truly die, and I think it's possible. You think, how can love fade in all 8 billion, 10 billion, billions of human beings? I say be careful of what you think. Because if hate takes its hold on enough people, all of a sudden our ability to cross the oceans becomes extraordinarily limited and restricted. So yes, if we are to die, as humanity will, it is more likely that it will be because of our own hatred, our own blind ignorance.
Yeah.
So, with that, I guess also ignorance will last.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Yes.
Ignorance will, I mean, of course, ignorance is like it's a feature of the universe, kind of. Right?
Ignorance is, I of course, ignorance has to last because ignorance is easy.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to not be ignorant.
That's a more erroneous kind of a
Yeah,
statement. That,
and-
of course, it will last.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, there is, and this is gonna be a really dumb thing to say, but
Go
it
ahead.
means a lot. There are a lot of things.
There is a lot of things.
No, because okay, so at the beginning of 2020,
as long as you're not omniscient, you'll have ignorance.
yes,
But yes, go on.
at the beginning of 2022, I made a goal that I wanted to be good at as many things as possible. I called them campfire skills, right? And they were basically tasks that you would show off at a campfire, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Things that don't change your life, things that don't change anyone else's life, but you go, oh, that's cool. Those things were like play guitar, solve a Rubik's Cube, spin a pen, get better handwriting. I did 3 of those things, right?
You go and solve it
The
really.
thing is, once I started writing out all the different things I wanted to be good at, I realized how many things there are. It's like, okay, I want to be good at skateboarding. I want to be good at spray painting. I want to be good at singing. I want to be good at... It's like, wow, there are a lot of things. And that doesn't tap on anything more than, like, just fun little hobbies.
You know what will always last? Aspiration.
Aspiration.
As a result of ignorance.
Yeah.
As a result of our inability, our eternal, I guess, impotence as a race,
I think what fascinates me is...
as human beings.
Well, on that point, what's fascinating to me is that people can be fascinated by anything. Like, I used to think that train watchers, train spotters, I was like, they're mental.
They're crazy.
Who cares about train spotters? And then I was like, ooga booga, lighting setups.
Actually, yeah. I mean, I got on the train last week, just through Sydney, and I'm like, God, the tracks are cool. I'm like, look how they change. I'm like, crap. Yeah, I get how people are interested in this.
Bro's like, sees the trolley problem. He's like, I'll change the track just so I can see the tracks
Just
change.
to see it. And
Like, I don't
and
even care about the people. I'm like,
and there's like 15 people on the other track.
he's just, yeah, but it looks cool.
But like, have you ever considered how it changes?
Actually, what you do is the train will go through, and then you'll change the tracks, and then change it back, and change it again, and change it back, and you're like, this is
yeah,
this
there's a
is fun.
superposition of which one it will go down. I mean, it could always do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah, look. So what I was gonna say is like there are people who like aspire to be all kinds of things, like
Yeah.
like an event organizer, and you think you aspire to organize events.
Yeah.
That sounds so dull,
Yeah, I know.
but they're very passionate. They're very
Yeah.
skilled too. They're skilled and passionate, and it's like
You know, I mean, I came across another one. Like, obviously, not to offend anyone who has any aspirations out there, but what was it? Actuarials. To become an actuary.
What?
That is someone who calculates risk for insurance companies.
hell yeah.
Like, to me, sounds incredibly dull. There are tens of thousands who are interested in that field.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, just in this country.
So that is fascinating.
I think there's like there's actually thousands of students just in Australia who go on, graduate high school, and take on actuarial studies at Sydney, at university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of those funny things. Is everything has subsets, right? So it's like you want to
Yeah,
you want to work in insurance. Okay, are you going to be you can do
Yeah, it's
that
like
thing?
such a specific aspiration, I think. You know, it's like, I want to calculate risk for insurance companies
Yeah.
to decide the correct premium for customers. Like, wow. That is specific. That's a goal, though.
Do you think it's
So aspirations and goals will always last. Well, everything else perhaps will be destroyed.
I think what's funny about aspirations and goals is that goals are innately subjective, right? And not necessarily because of like, hear me out. The success of a goal is subjective, right? Like, if you have a goal in mind, you end up with it. For it to be a goal, by definition, it needs to
Yeah.
have a finish line.
Yeah.
Now, where the finish line is your choice. Now, some people call the finish line early. They're like, "Oh, I've got it. This is good enough." Some people keep pushing it further away. They're like, "Oh, it needs to be perfect," and it's like, okay, so aspiration will last, but I mean, that's already subjective. It's like there's already like no. I got caught up in what I was saying.
No, I know what you mean. It's subjective. I'd say the idea of the person who's running towards the finish line, which is constantly being pushed back, is innate.
Yeah.
I think everyone experiences that to a degree.
So then that's kind of like a meaning of life thing, because it's like if you're not aspiring to be anything, you're either depressed or dead.
Well, once again, you always want more,
Yeah, real.
don't you?
You do.
You always want more.
You always want more.
So yes, correct. Yes, that's a very interesting question. What else will be doomed? Well, I mean, I'd like to hear your thoughts because I feel like I've contributed to the three: ignorance and aspiration, along with hatred. What else is doomed, or what else will last forever?
I don't think
Despite-
Norway will last a century.
There you go.
I
Put
just-
your tips in now, guys.
I just think the EU is going to get a bit sick of them. They're like, you're just hanging off the edge there.
No,
Wait, Norway's not in the EU, is
Norway-
it? Wait, is
it's
it?
not. Oh,
Is
look,
it?
I don't know.
No,
my
is that the
geopolitics well
Netherlands on
enough.
the side there? Oh no.
I don't know.
Or is-
You're talking about Scandinavia, correct?
What? Wait. That's a different place. What?
Scandinavia is like the Scandinavian countries, like Sweden, Norway,
Yes, Norway.
Finland.
Yeah, I'm talking about Norway.
Yeah. So Norway. Yeah, Norway.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Norway is part of the EU.
Yeah.
I
Don't think it's going to last.
Yeah. You don't think it's? You don't think it's gonna.
I'm taking the piss. Yeah, well.
I think Norway's ironically one of those.
Oh,
countries that will
you know what
last.
won't last?
What won't last?
The current trend of everything in media needing its own universe.
Oh,
An expanded
goodness me.
universe.
Goodness me.
That won't last.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you.
I feel like we're definitely kind of on different wavelengths about this question. I'm like, hatred. Or the MCU.
No, like, look.
But I get what you mean.
No, because this is a trend
Artistic
that's like,
homogeneity, if you will. So I just use questions, just words, just to kind of make things
No, look,
interesting.
because what I find
Artistic
is that
homogeneity, don't you love it?
you have the artists, and then you have the producers, and the producers technically take up the role of commissioners, right? And think when we had our AI art discussion,
Yeah.
Maronis. When we had our discussion at AI, I was like talking about how the commissioner kind of takes pride in the art, even though it's not their art. Well, I think the same thing happens with a lot of film industries these days. It's like you have these successful films like Barbie per se, and then
Yeah.
the producer's like, "Oh, it made us money," and so they decide, let's make a sequel. Now, I don't think they will make a sequel, but I'm sure the discussion will be out there. I'm sure at some point,
Made over $1 billion.
I'm sure at some point there will be like someone who,
If it hasn't already.
yeah. Well, the fact that they made the whole like Kennedy not joke, but the Kennedy reference in Oppenheimer. They're like, what's this guy's name? John F. Kennedy. It's like, What are
Yeah.
you doing? Like, you're gonna make the Earth extended universe. Okay, cool. Like, the 1940s extended universe.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like,
The 20th century extended
it's
universe.
it really bugs me how you can't have contained stories anymore. There are some stories that need a sequel, like Back to the Future led into a sequel,
Yeah.
right? And then it ended at 3. You can't go to a 4 because it ended at 3.
Yeah, literally ended it.
Yeah.
Of course. You
The
could
fact
always
that things
have
like
a reboot.
Oliver Twist are now getting like spin-offs.
Ah,
And I actually don't mind that. Like, I'm like, oh, I'd love to see what Artful Dodger
spin-off.
was like.
Yeah.
A spin-off's different to an extended universe, though. Like something where they're something when they make a first movie with the expectation to make way more. They don't try to just make this story. They try to make way more. Like, there's some good examples. Like, I mean, the DCU is the clear example of them just
MCU,
trying to
but
copy
yeah.
Marvel.
Oh, DC, okay.
But there were some like stinkers. Oh, Transformers was rough. They made 4
Right.
movies, and then they went, "This is going to be an extended universe." And then they planned out like 8 movies in advance. The next movie bombed. They scrapped the entire thing.
Yikes.
The only thing that survived from that was the Bumblebee movie. But my
Right.
point is, I think the producers at some point are going to realize this model doesn't hold up, and the only way it's going to hold up is if the MCU dies.
Well, yeah, that's true.
The
If they
mo-
officially just say it's over,
Yeah.
all the threats in the MCU that characters could face are defeated.
No. I don't think the story will wrap up. I think the sequence of movies will finish.
Yes,
I
you're
think
right.
I
They
think
actually will just be like,
they will. Yeah, it'll be just like they switch it off. Everyone will be upset for about a month, and then no more talk about it.
yeah,
The MCU's gone, and
the
then in
tap
like
stops.
10 years, 5 years maybe, there'll be a Captain America reboot. Then you'll have all the Gen Zs like in their 40s being like, "You can't replace Chris Evans.
Yeah,
You can't replace Gene Wilder
haven't they
as
already
Iron
tried?
Man."
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that was different to like generosity, like, but like
Yeah.
optimism. But, like,
Yeah.
but like, yeah.
But okay, interesting. We're really talking about as anything as broad as possible. It seems.
Well, what can I say? It's left brain, right brain.
Left brain, right brain. Yeah, kind of got a different size of madness, maybe.
Well, is there anything like on your end of the spectrum, like more logistical things? No more maths. Math is doomed. We don't like maths anymore.
Sure.
Fuck Pythagoras. We refuse to use his stuff.
Sure. I don't think shapes will stop being a thing necessarily.
The second dimension ceases to exist.
The second one.
Dimension.
Second dimension.
Yeah, like
So-
2D
so-
shapes.
So
We skip 2D. We just go
we skip,
1D.
so there's only the first dimension and the third dimension.
So you have length, and then just straight to depth.
And height and depth, straight length. So it's like that's a square, and that's also a triangle, and then now that's a circle.
No, but the second dimension's gone.
Oh, the second dimension's gone. I don't. Sorry. You feeling good, man? You
I'm
feeling
great.
alright?
I'm great.
Are you feeling alright?
I'm great. No, look, okay.
Okay.
So you think everything's gonna just grow or maintain?
No.
Is there an area of the quadrangle that won't survive?
Ooh, that's actually an interesting one. That's actually really interesting. So let's think about like a nearer future than the end of humanity, maybe.
Yeah, nearer future. End of humanity's kind of far.
What won't survive? That's. I'm actually.
See, I think philosophy will have to survive because it's like you can't answer it and therefore it can't be finished.
Yep.
I think, obviously things like science has to continue because
What
it's
would
like
be doomed?
you can't answer everything. You have to continue asking. And it's a
What?
pyramid scheme. They always have to keep teaching.
That's true.
They just have to make more teachers to make more teachers to make more
And
teachers.
make more teachers and make more teachers. What won't survive? I'm really thinking. Well, what parts? What parts definitely would survive? Right, I feel like your kind of what's called the STEM subjects, your science, the technology, the engineering. That's gonna persevere because that's been practical for a long, long time. What if What if astronomy dies?
Oh,
What if astronomy is doomed?
that's an interesting one.
What if, although aspiration will survive, what if humanity's collective aspiration to look outwards upon the universe ceases? Is it a possibility?
So what you're saying is, it's not that we will stop looking to the stars and wonder. It's that we'll stop caring about exploring. Because
Yes.
it's like how we
Yes.
explored the oceans for all of humanity, and then we discovered all the countries, and then we're like, okay, we're good.
We have not seen the depth of the oceans yet.
We've not seen the depths of the ocean, but we're not going to.
Not saying no one's trying.
When no one,
Try.
yeah, but it's not like that's our main concern.
Yes. Similarly, we haven't gone to the moon since 1971.
Yeah, but we're going back.
Like almost 50 years later. Like actually over 50 years later. You know
And
what I mean?
I can't wait.
Yes, but I'm not sure. You know, it takes a long time, and you think people just would become uninterested. I mean, if you maybe are more pessimistic, you might think we will be engrossed in our technology, and we will simply want to explore inwards.
don't want to get off their bloody phones. They're too busy to go to the moon. They're on TikTok.
They're on TikTok.
They're doing Renegades when they should be doing the Apollo mission.
We're just not care about it.
Artemis is dead thanks to fucking TikTok.
But what if we just don't care? What if we're just like, oh, damn, that's all, and we just map all the stars in the sky?
I'm a Cancer.
Oh my god, it's difficult sometimes. It's difficult.
Astronomy's doomed. It's good to know.
Potentially, I'm still like it could, but it's one of the ones that could. Like, I'm just thinking, all your other sciences, all your other humanities, they
But-
have to survive.
By the time we get
That is potentially.
by the time we get to like Ganymede, Jupiter's moon, I think we're done. By the time we put something on Ganymede, like I put a person on Jupiter's moons, we're like, oh yeah, it's actually not much cooler out here.
So space exploration
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Once we've explored the rocky planets, because I tell you, we'll have to go to like somewhere like Venus. I know Venus is like hostile to anything,
Extraordinarily. Yeah.
but I think with technology advancing, we should at least be able to explore it to some degree, whether that just be like rovers. Like,
we have rovers on Venus.
we have rovers on I thought they were burnt up and shit.
I think we have rovers on Venus. Actually, now you have that possible to look. I'm not sure. We definitely have satellites, and we've definitely had. We actually had a balloon on Venus.
Do we have rovers on Venus?
I'm sure we've landed them, but you might be right in that they've burned up.
Because it's what, like 270 degrees or something?
I don't know, 360.
360 no
It's a
scope.
planet. It's around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That was really bad. But yeah, it's hot. Okay, anyways, enough discussion about Venus. I understand what your perspective is.
Venus is doomed.
Venus is doomed. Mercury, Venus, and Earth are all, in fact, doomed. Like, that's it.
Yeah, Mars too.
I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I think Mars, yeah.
Because, wait,
All
we
the
talk
way
about the sun expanding.
Like the sun expanding.
Yeah, Mars
Yeah,
gets
you're
engulfed.
right.
It's like, it goes to about Jupiter
Mars.
level, right? It goes up to Mars, and it gets to, like, the orbit of Jupiter.
No, I don't think it will get that large. That is, I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. Red giants are a lot bigger than.
Do you want to check?
In case anyone's not updated on the existential crisis that
On Sun Law.
on Sun Law.
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
4.5 billion years in the future,
Yeah.
the sun's going to expand and we're all going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, and the Earth's going to be destroyed. It really sucks.
Roll. But luckily, hate will survive.
No.
The concept of anger.
Concept of anger.
Well, I think we've thoroughly discussed.
We have. Oh my god, we have. That was 30 minutes. I didn't even realize we just started talking about. Anyways, the MCU, ignorance, aspiration, and hatred.
My favorite thing.
These are the only things that will survive. Everything else is doomed, we kind of claim.
Put them in a soup and cook them up. And
Yeah.
give
cook
them to your
up.
niece and watch her suffer.
Oh well.
Everything is doomed.
Everything is doomed. Yeah, I think we accept that. And
Except like Shark Tales by, Will Smith.
well, it's interesting.
I think Shark Tales will be fine.
Shark Tales.
Shark Tales.
Shark Tales.
Shark Tales.
I think at the end of the universe, the sun is a red giant, it's billions of kilometers across, and that out it spits this giant gas of what is that? An alien of the distant the distant future says, and it's a copy of the DVD of Shark Tales.
You just see Will Smith fish just being like, can't touch this. Bow, bow, no.
So most things are doomed.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. All our knowledge will be doomed.
Yeah.
All humanity's history will be doomed.
Rough.
But is life still have meaning in the face of all that?
Oh. I have a lot of theories about like.
It's just as simple. Just go yes or no.
I think if there is no life, the universe.
I don't think you heard me. Just simple
doesn't-
yes or no.
Say the question again, man.
Does in spite of everything being doomed, do we have a will to live? I guess. Is there a meaning?
So you're asking me if we should all be nihilist?
Yes, I'm asking the ultimate nihilist question.
Yes, I think life has meaning.
How about if there were no free will?
If there was no free will. Is this going into your topic?
Yes, it is.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Good stuff. That's
You
good.
didn't see that coming.
What is your topic?
It's free will.
Free will.
It's free will.
Free will.
Free Will Smith. I should have done that. Talking about Will. No. I missed the opportunity of the century. That opportunity is doomed, I guess we could say.
We'll just edit it in,
Yeah, we just edit that in. That's fucking
Well, we won't even like re-say it. We'll just cut together you saying those words.
yeah.
What about free Will Smith?
Anyways, let's get back on track.
Free will. Expound.
Expound. Okay, all right. There are multiple theories. They're mostly philosophical about the nature of reality itself.
Hell yeah.
If you wound back the clock on reality, if you wound it back until the Big Bang and let it play out again, with those same initial conditions, of course, would we still be here? If you let it play out, would we still be in this exact? Would the universe be precisely the same? That is, would everything be precisely deterministic? Now, of course, this is the claim that science makes, and of course, there is a bit of a caveat with stuff like quantum mechanics, which, in short, effectively means that there could be randomness in the universe, which, of course, is completely undeterministic. This is very strange. Nonetheless, indeterminism does not mean free will. Free will means that when we have conscious beings, they can act in their own accord, separate or above the laws of nature. Now, of course, most people have, especially since the Enlightenment, we've come to understand the scientific perspective that no, nothing is above nature. The metaphysical, or I guess the spiritual aspect of the universe is perhaps not real. That idea started to emerge.
What?
But of course it's very scary. Like, you don't have any free will. You don't have any agency. I think that's the word that's very commonly used. So what's the point if everything is already kind of determined in the future? That's kind of that's the question that's been asked for at least for hundreds of years. But I think we can get more into the weeds here, more granular in our approach, because we're living in a largely secular, at least largely scientific society, a very advanced society, which has been able to understand the natures, the laws of nature, and the principles of physics and whatnot. So I may ask, that is there a space for freedom? Is there a space for freedom in determinism?
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
No, look, you said a lot there.
Yeah, I did.
I think starting from the start of like the idea of like if we were to have every condition of the start of the universe,
Yeah.
despite that we may believe different things about the start of the universe, if we were to have the same conditions and everything would play out, would it play out the same? See, what you're actually asking is there no soul and therefore is there no randomness?
Yeah.
And if the human mind is purely physical and it is purely the result of neuron firing after neuron after neuron after neuron, it's like a pure chain reaction that means it's predictable.
Yeah, it's predictable.
And not just predictable, but replicatable, because that's what science is. It has to be replicatable. So what that then says is that any human is no more important than any replication of that human, right? And I'm not going to actually go into all these like theoreticals because it's another topic, but like, you know, you could create an AI that is completely replicated of another human being. Well, which is the real human? Like, that's ship of Theseus, but like that's a new ship of Theseus. That is, who is a human?
Yeah.
It's not just who's a boat. It's like, what's a boat?
I mean, that's a question. Could we create consciousness out of
See,
a
I don't
machine?
think so. I don't think so. I don't think machines will ever be conscious.
All right. Do you believe at all in free will? I'll say that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So in saying that you think a machine couldn't be conscious, do you believe a machine could never have free will?
Yes. I believe, because I would say that at least at some extent the mind is unpredictable. I would say the mind is unpredictable.
Is that just because of our ignorance?
Our ignorance or my ignorance?
Our ignorance.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I thought you said, are you just like ignorant? You
No.
an idiot? No.
no, just like generally.
I couldn't say because I don't know. But what I would say is I'm confident in stating that there is a level of free will to be had because we are unpredictable, and therefore a machine that is purely predictable, because otherwise it's not really a good machine if it just does a random thing at a random time. I don't think that is conscious. You know what I mean? You got to think, right? This is how I would put it. Let's say we did invent a conscious machine. We call it conscious. We give it rights. And by the way, that does exist. There is a machine that we've given human rights. An AI.
That's true.
Sophia. Yes. So, let's say we downgrade her slightly. Let's say we downgrade her. Maybe she can't answer one or two questions. Are we still going to call her conscious? We might go, oh, she's still alive. She's just like, slightly incapacitated. Is that the right word?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And let's say we just decrease her a bit more. We decrease her a bit more. We decrease her a bit more. We decrease her a bit more. Then we get to the point where she's...
But how are we decreasing her, sorry? In her capacity?
Arbitrarily, let's just say we, to some degree, we, decrease her
in some way. Okay,
Yes.
that's not yet determined.
to the point where she's no more impressive than just a calculator you have on your hand, in your hand.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
Are you going to say calculator's conscious? No.
No, of course not.
It's just purely, it's purely
I'd
pattern
say...
Where is the line?
I mean, consciousness, free agency. Let's just go agency, because I want to distinguish agency between free will.
Describe agency.
So agency
for the audience, not me.
I'd define agency as being able to autonomously manipulate reality.
Okay.
I put into a calculator 2 + 2. All right. I know I'm commanding the calculator to do the operation 2 + 2, and of course I don't know every single minute detail of the calculator.
Stop you right there.
Here we go.
4.
Yeah. Yes.
Continue.
Correct. That should be the answer.
Yes.
But if I were to know everything about the calculator, I would know precisely what electrons would move, precisely what circuits would turn on, precisely at what times, in every way. And that would all be at my command. Mm-hmm. That would all be at my command, because without me, that would not have happened.
Yes.
But that has been able to that those manipulations
you
of reality.
ignited the chain reaction.
Yes, I ignited the chain reaction. Now,
Yes.
this opens us up to some interesting questions later. But the calculator cannot do it on its own. Now, if I ask, potentially, let's say there is an autonomous, a machine with agency. Sorry, this machine would be able to manipulate its own thoughts. That is the electrons in the circuits that make it up. It would be able to actually give itself thoughts. You see, it would give itself commands.
Yes.
It would give itself thoughts.
Yes.
Not because
So
I
it's
told it to.
So it's like an AI
Because
that can
it-
prompt itself.
Almost. Without even the prompt of any individual.
Well, that would imply that it could change its mind, which a calculator
Yes.
can't.
Actually, that's a very good... I think it has
But that
to
also,
change its mind.
but that also means that it can't be hyper intelligent because it has to be wrong enough to change its mind.
I think even anything below omniscience will be able to change its mind.
I don't know if I agree. So I think to change your mind, you need to have your mind contested and then challenged, and therefore you need to generate new ideas to cope with that challenge and with that test. So, the essence of being able to change your mind is a gap of intelligence.
Yes, and I think they'll always be there.
So,
A gap of intelligence, a gap of wisdom, and a gap of knowledge will always be present.
does that mean that there's no objective truth?
Whoa, yes, there would be. It's undiscoverable though. In its entirety.
Undiscoverable.
In its entirety, it's undiscoverable.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so I want to come back to this question. This something I proposed before. If I input something into a calculator, it does its commands because I set off those reactions.
Yeah.
Now, if I slap you in the face,
Yeah, I like this.
a certain set of neurons in your cheek would fire. And in fact, they would set off a whole new chain reaction in your mind, which would most likely lead you to some reaction in turn. But is your agency decreased because you did not autonomously feel the slap in the face? I had to initiate that slap in the face. Are you a bit like the calculator where I input a command? How does that idea change the agency of human beings?
Guess there's only one way to find out.
Because you can only experience things with other human beings. We're not doing it.
Do it, pussy.
No, we're not doing it.
Do it.
No, we're not doing it.
Do it.
We're not doing it.
I like it. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. So how'd that feel? So I felt something in my hand.
I felt something in my face.
I felt something in my hand, but I wasn't autonomously in charge of that. I was the one that set it into
that's
action.
another thing.
But
We can make.
were you in
physical
charge of
mistakes.
that? Were you in charge of that feeling in your cheek?
Well,
I mean, you consented to it. That's perhaps another thing.
that's a completely different. I don't think responding to something isn't autonomy. I think it's what you need to survive.
Exactly.
So it's like, if we were walking around... No. Okay.
Here we go.
If a man was in hospital, right, because he'd burnt his eyes off and his ears are gone, losing two of his primary senses, right, he's still got smell, taste, and feel, right? No, let's say bad fire, he's lost his eyes, lost his ears, and all of his skin has lost feel. He can just taste. Right? Are you saying he's now, like, less autonomous as a human being because he's lost sensation? Like, technically, he's still alive. And technically, he can still get up and move around. And if we had the technology, we could technically rebuild him a body that could sense. I don't think his autonomy changed throughout the process of him losing anything and then regaining it. I just think that his ability to react and use his autonomy changes. Utilizing autonomy and having
Ooh.
autonomy is different.
Having agency.
Having agency, yeah.
So if you've less access to the senses, are you less an agent?
Yes.
Have you limited agency?
Or
That's
even more,
actually
if
interesting.
we actually invented, like Elon Musk with his, like, brain chips, right?
Yeah.
If that somehow allowed you to have extra senses,
But they
like
have,
let's say he invents a GPS system that allows you to know down to the meter where other people are, right? Who also have those chips. I would know, hey, there's someone behind this wall, and I know exactly where they are down to the meter, right?
Yeah.
So within that square meter, they should be there, right? Am I now superhuman? Like, am I more human because I have more sense?
That's interesting. So is sensation part of
Humanity.
like or of part of agency?
Yeah.
Right, part of agency.
Hell yeah.
I guess maybe it's one function of it, because both of you, when I slapped you in the face, I changed your mental state in some way. I changed your internal state,
Yeah.
and when I plugged those numbers into the calculator, I changed its internal state.
You made me very happy.
I'm glad. but you are more conscious than the calculator.
Thanks.
So I sometimes think. No, this cannot lie. But so there has to be something else. So there has to be something else in agency.
Yeah.
So we've talked about being able to, and I think that is, well, I touched on it earlier. It was being able to manipulate the world. I'm able to slap you in the face,
Don't.
but
I changed my mind.
but a calculator cannot.
So what if we gave a calculator mood swings?
Okay, would it have to how would it have a mood?
Let's
it
say-
needed a mood.
Yeah, let's say we say to the calculator, hey man, 2 + 2. And he goes, stop telling me what to do! And it storms off to his room.
Well, I think then you could make the argument that it would have some agency.
So, are simulated feelings still feelings? Because that's the thing, right? The whole idea of I think, therefore I am. I would actually you know the idea of like saying I think, therefore I am, right? I would rephrase that to I feel, therefore I am. Because there's a difference between thinking and feeling. And one of the reasons I personally don't think an AI is conscious is because I don't see evidence that it feels. I don't see evidence that it can actually emote.
Okay, that's actually incredibly interesting. It feels. So you don't just mean sense. It like has feeling. It has emotion. It has irrational thoughts.
Yes.
It has to be irrational
Yes.
to be conscious.
Yes.
Is that what agency is? Is that what free will is?
Is that?
To be irrational?
Yes.
To be able to be not just a logical system.
Yeah, because
To upset that.
going back to the idea of like being wrong and being able to change your mind, you change your mind based on gaps in knowledge, and gaps in knowledge might occur from presuppositions based off your emotional tendencies, and your emotional tendencies are based off when you've made decisions in the past based on other emotional tendencies, and those can be tracked all the way back to when you were born, when you're kicking and screaming, and then
Before.
it's like okay,
So the genetic code of human
It's like-
of your genetic code, right?
It's like, okay, I trust mum because mum gives me comfort. Okay, so then when I get scared later on in life, I go back to mum. So, okay, but then I learn other things can give me comfort. So then I go to those things. And then I start doubting. Does mum even care? And then you get older and you realize, no, mum does care, right? And as you get older, you are learning and experiencing and you're changing your emotional state and you're changing your decisions upon that. And if it was to be purely logical, from day one, you'd come out of the womb and go, mum gives me comfort, cool. Like that bit, that 0-1 has been locked in from day one. And now we're just the same.
Yeah.
Now you could grow, but you still have that one thing locked in place, right?
Yes.
Growth doesn't mean change. Growth just means adding on, right? So that's why I don't think a machine, at least an AI machine, is conscious. It's like
Because it's too rational. Like it's too cerebral. Too
Yes.
cognitive.
yeah. Now, you might say, oh, yes, but like something like ChatGPT, that can change its mind. You ask the same question twice and it'll give you different answers.
That's true.
It's giving
I
you
mean-
different answers on randomness, not on feelings. It's
Is it randomness,
simulating.
but here we go. We go down to the very granular aspect of the fundamental units of the
This
universe.
is actually very right brain of me. I've just realized that I'm like focusing on feelings and you're focusing on the intelligence.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
actually works really well.
Yeah. Get down to the grain, the very fundamental particles that make up the universe. Who's to say at that scale a thought is irrational? Look at a single quanta. There is no feeling for them. It doesn't exist.
Real.
And so I'm not saying this as like a kind of a
No.
rebuttal to what you're
No,
saying.
no, please.
Because I'm just saying, kind of putting it into a perspective, why this is a debate that is so hard.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Oh,
look
and we're
what
not
the
going to
universe
get
is
an
made
answer
out
that
of.
we completely agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look at the theory or the standard model, and it's this one equation that it's a horribly long equation, but it's effectively
Yeah, I've
the
seen
theory
all
of
of it,
like the
yeah.
feeling, the
No
theory of
clue
everything.
what it says. But
Yeah. Most people, 99.999% of people don't have any clue what it says. But it's effectively all physics in that one equation. All the forces that could occur on every single particle that we've ever discovered.
Oh, yeah.
There is that equation has no feeling. That equation has no irrationality. That equation has no unpredictability. That equation has other than the wave function. Again, potentially randomness.
So why are you
But
so certain that
there
if you
is no
put
feeling.
millions and trillions of them together, you suddenly get feelings?
Exactly. I mean, who's to say that there is feeling at that scale?
A
At
s-
any scale.
A soul, perhaps.
Yeah.
Like the Pixar movie.
Yeah. Feelings are simply, I guess, if you're a neurobiologist, you would say feelings are a necessity for animals to create bonds with each other and
Yeah,
cooperate
but
or whatnot.
that's also
right?
an empty statement. Like, that's an empty statement. It's like, okay, what you're saying is, why do we have feelings? Not how, and not like,
Yes.
yeah, you're not saying what a feeling is.
Well,
Like,
then they say, oh, well, we have feelings because of the parts of the brain, the neuroreceptors.
you can
and-
say to me, like, I feel happy because of a dopamine. Okay, why does it make me actually feel? Like, why do I
Yeah.
feel like
Why is there consciousness?
Like, it's more than just saying that this happens and then this happens. Because if you looked at it on like a fundamental level, a dopamine floods the body. There's no like domino effect that's like this chemically impacts this and then that makes this happen. It's like, no. It's electrical impulses that have just decided that I feel something.
Yeah.
That's wacky.
Yeah.
Like that's not just
That's
like
made something happen.
it's something that honestly feels illogical in a way. Like it doesn't feel like it makes sense.
Yeah, just because it makes sense doesn't mean it's illogical. But yes, I understand what your position on this
Then
is.
what is your definition of illogical?
Well, that's actually a thing I was really gonna ask.
Alright, go on.
Because I don't know. Because I'm saying rational, irrational. Because I could say logic and rationality and it is like logical consistency. That equation, as the left side has a value, a quantity, and the right side has a quantity across all its dimensions, across all its terms. And if they equate, the equation is true. If they don't, the equation is false. True, false. That's the fundamental units of logic.
Binary.
True,
Yeah.
false.
Yeah.
But at a bigger scale, all of a sudden we abandon all those ideas. Really, we abandon true false. Like true false can't apply effectively to anything unless you work with something like a computer, right?
Well, it's quantitative, qualitative.
Yeah. Like the universe, there is no true false in the universe.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
impossible.
Well,
So
it depends on what question you're asking.
so we're saying, like, there's just, and it's happened for almost 100 years now. This huge chasm has opened up between science and effectively everyone else on the other side, right? With science and physics, quantum physics. Let's just say science.
Yeah.
And this study of matter and everything and the universe at this very fundamental level says there's a true and false and of course a maybe, right? There's very superpositions between those two states, but ultimately there's a true or false,
Yeah.
a left spin, a right spin, a positive charge, negative charge, mass, no mass. There's
Yeah.
quantities at the universe, but of course everyone lives life without those quantities. Really,
Yeah.
we live life where there is no true false, there is no positive negative,
Yeah.
there is no mass, no mass. There's no clear distinctions, right? We don't live in a world where I'm a perfect sphere and you're a perfect like rectangle.
Assume Jacob Ramirez
cube.
is sphere.
Is a sphere,
Assume Nicholas to
and there's
be
no friction.
rectangular pyramid.
We are living in like rectangular.
I don't know.
We're living in a world with we're like infinitely large giants in comparison to the idea of true and false.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And so that's why we can even contemplate whether there is free will.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is then one of those things where I think we say, is there intelligent life out there? Fuck's intelligence? Like,
Yeah.
are we basing that off us? Are we the benchmark?
Hey, if maybe a race of calculators came down and they were kind of just, in a spaceship, maybe we might reconsider.
That you just like
The Casio 98, go, wow, jeez.
you just hear in the heavens, sine, cos, tan, cosec.
Maybe we might reconsider our definition of intelligence. We'd really think it through, wouldn't we?
This whole time, Jesus has just been like a Casio calculator.
That's not right. You can't say.
Like when you pray, the reason he might not respond is it just math error.
Matt. Why this guy got feelings? I just know 1 + 5.
6!
Yeah! Hell yeah!
Hey, sine 30.
Sine 30 is 1/2. Yeah!
Cos 30.
√3/2. Hell yeah!
Tan 30. Root 3, right?
1/√3.
1 over root 3.
Anyways.
That's sine, tan 60. Root 3.
Yeah, √3.
And then,
Tan 45.
isn't that a 1?
Yeah! Too hard. We're going a bit too hard with this one.
No, it's fine. You got me in the face earlier.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, do you have anything to add? Because I feel like I bring up some topic like that and not expecting any sort of answer.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you'll never get an answer.
We're not getting answers on this podcast. If you're interested in answers, go study philosophy, and then
Do a course.
and probably do it for the rest of your life. And then when you're in another 60 years' time, come back to us and say, "Crap, I don't have an answer."
Well, that's one of those things where it's like, then, so as the right brain person, I'm almost compelled to say, don't waste your time asking a question that you won't answer. Instead, accept the fact that you're alive. Accept it and just go.
It's a very
well,
left brain thing of you to say, to be honest.
no, I was gonna say, accept the fact that you're alive and just say, well, let's live.
Yeah. Okay. No. I yeah.
Because like, I think analyzing it, going, okay, why am I alive? So okay, you can find that out. But then we get to the end of the question, you go, wow, that's why. But I missed out.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer. Because life's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Life is pretty cool.
It's not bad.
You can still ask questions. I think you should do it.
I think you should still ask questions. But you
Hey,
should ask
maybe
questions.
maybe we have an answer to this one day. Maybe we're being over pessimistic. Maybe we do have an answer to whether we have free will.
Alright, what is it then?
Well, I can't tell you, can I?
It's a difficult question because it can't just be a logical
We have
answer.
to completely redefine.
And it has to be well, lack of a better word, it has to be spiritual. Like, it has to be a spiritual answer because at the end of the day, we experience things in a spiritual manner. We experience things where it's like,
Actually, yes.
as living creatures, we need to communicate in a medium that we understand that is living, and that's art, if you actually ask me.
It's the true, false, and everything in between.
Yeah, when you look at an art piece, the reason it speaks to you isn't because it actually logically makes sense. It speaks to you because it speaks to the human condition. And the human condition is that of spirituality, and it's that of art. And you know what? There's a reason why this world has been built up with so many religions and so many stories and so many myths. It's because that's how we communicate ideas.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it's how we communicate ideas the best. And
Through seeming complexity.
wonder,
Well, I don't just tell you,
wonder
do
all-
not aspire, do not be consumed by your ambition and aspiration.
Yeah.
That is my lesson. No, instead I'll tell you the story of Ichthyus.
Yeah. 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 It's like, okay, what's the story about someone who tried too hard and caught themselves out? They were too proud, too confident. I don't know. Let's tell them that they got burnt in the sun
Yeah.
with their wings.
Yes.
Icarus and that. I actually don't know the myth, admittedly, so I probably shouldn't have used that as an example. But I mean, myths and stories, that's how we speak to the human condition. And at the end of the day, if you try to boil down the answer of what is the human condition to something that isn't in line with what the human condition experiences, then the answer will always be unsatisfying.
Yes.
And we're not going to appreciate that answer.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I actually have. I'm not sure what to add to that. I mean, that's very, very true.
See, I'm satisfied with not knowing.
Yeah.
I'm
You have to
satisfied
be.
with not knowing.
You have to be satisfied with your ignorance. What does Socrates say? The
I
oracle,
don't know. I wasn't.
the oracle came to him and said, "You are the wisest man." And he wondered why he was the wisest man. And so he thought, no, he could not be the wisest man in Athens. So he went to the politicians and interviewed the politicians and asked and inquired on their wisdom. And they said they were, of course, very wise. But when he found them out in the way that he discovered that they pretended to know when they in fact did not know.
Rough.
And then so he thought the politicians seem wise, but they are in fact not. Let me go to the artisans. So he went to the artisans, and he discovered that the artisans were in fact very wise. However, they did not know much wisdom apart from what it was that their art or that their craft required. And so he said, and once again, they are not especially wise. So he considered why he was wise, and he was because he, not knowing many, many, many infinities of things, could admit to himself that he did not know these things. He said, I must be wise because although I do not know much, I do not know plenty, in fact, I know I do not know all of that knowledge.
I like that.
He admitted to his ignorance.
That's
You have to be content. He was content with that ignorance, and I think that's one of his most, I think when you think of Socrates, probably people think of that principle, being content with ignorance, because ignorance will always survive. It will always be around. You have to live with it. So yeah.
Ignorance is not doomed.
Ignorance is not doomed. That's correct.
It's not doomed.
It's undoomed.
It's undoomed.
It's
Doomed.
undoomed. Doomed. It will
Yeah.
come back.
I think
Persevere.
we've actually kind of gone through what we've learned today. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, we have. That's the.
Our topics actually tied together very
Yeah, that
nicely.
happened really organically.
That
I
was
like
good.
to think.
That
you
was
know,
good.
Yeah, I like, Will, then Will,
Will,
that transition maybe could have been smoother, but that's okay.
Will Smith.
That's okay. We're getting there.
Will Smith?
Will Smith, Will Smith, I don't know. Will Smith, yeah, something like that. There's some I saw a random ass sentence out there. You know, the buffalo.
Yeah.
Police.
Police.
No, police.
Right.
Yeah.
Police.
And you could say police.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could say any number of
Buffalo.
buffalo. Would
Thank you for listening.
thank you very much. Do you want to give it a good old?
See you in the next one. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, thank you, my friends and listeners and viewers.
Thank you. I'm acting their voice. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Indeed, you're welcome.
Yeah, I love these guys.
I'll see you in the next one.